How's your day been?
Yeah, just trying to make the most of a million things I've got to do, Dave, to be honest with you.
It's
Yeah,
a nightmare, isn't
yeah,
it? I was doing this.
juggling corporate work. Uh, I got training later as well. Yeah, there's a number of things I'm doing. I'm planning a trip as well. I'll be going abroad soon, very soon actually.
What are you
So
doing?
uh, I'll tell you offline.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm doing the same thing. I'm still at work now, so I thought I'd do this where I had a bit of peace and quiet.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming on, Dave. It's an honor to have you on here. You're a man of many credentials. So just to briefly give some of your credentials here, and I know they're brief. Olympia Pro deadlift record. You got done 250 kg at 250 kilograms at 73 kilograms.
Yeah, I went
That's
to the. It
that's pretty
felt
strong.
heavy. Felt heavy.
PCA
Yeah,
Native finalist came third. PCA Coventry first place. BNBF Midlands first place. I could go on, but yeah,
you
I
see,
think
it's
there's
the
better
rule of
better men.
averages. It's the rule of
Say that again, sorry.
averages, mate. It's the rule of averages. If you do enough competitions, occasionally you win a couple.
Well, yeah, true, true, true. But
Um,
yeah,
so, um, so probably started competing, when was it? 2010. So
okay.
that was my first season. Did the MPA. Mike Williams Classic it was. You did the MPA Northern, didn't you? Did you win the overall there?
No, no, I lost the overall on a split decision, the Masters overall on a split decision to Robert Rodney. I don't know if you know, he calls himself
Oh,
Chisel
I know
Ice.
Robert well. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently it was a split decision.
Yeah, I looked at the pictures of that and it's one of those. Your frame and structure was superior. He probably he's quite dense, isn't he? He's very good powerlifter. He's very
There we
compact.
go. We spoke about
And
that
it's one
backstage.
of those, isn't it? He
Yeah,
goes one way or the other sometimes.
I think a different.
So,
Go on, go
no,
on.
no, you go on, sorry.
Yeah, I think a different federation may have judged it differently because I think the BNBF they tend to look at conditioning over mass. As long as you've got enough muscularity, they tend to be hyper focused on conditioning, in my opinion. Um,
Agreed, yeah.
NPA, I think his thickness edged it. Fair play to him, he deserved it. He deserved it. He deserved it.
You find, don't you? I don't know if you found this in your competitions. I've done probably 29 bodybuilding competitions, and I've had situations where I've placed higher or where I've won, and I've had situations where I've placed lower and thought, maybe I could have
Yeah,
done better there.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
think when
yeah,
you've come out the good side of it, because I've beat guys that are better than me, to be honest. And I've lost to guys where I've probably edged them out of condition. I don't usually get out conditioned by anyone, but
yeah,
maybe they've got a bit more. And if I stood on, say, like you say, like a BNBF stage or UK DFBA stage where they were all about being out really sharp,
mm,
could have come out differently.
yeah,
So you kind of realize that. I mean, yeah, will be 29 competitions since then. So I tend to do like big seasons, six, seven, eight shows usually. Just because I like to get fat. I enjoy getting fat. I like to get up to like 86 kilos. I haven't done it this time, but then go into the powerlifting. And I had a big game changer. So I'd done that probably 4 or 5 seasons. And this is really negative, but I got too old for powerlifting. I damaged the disc in my neck
right,
during a competition cycle in 2020. And it just, even though I lifted again and competed, I couldn't push the limits. When you lock in for a lift
yep,
and you can just go to the max, you can exert every drop of force in your body.
yep,
I couldn't do it anymore. Because the pain was so extreme from that herniated disc in my neck. I didn't sleep for about 4 or 5 months, 1 or 2 hours here and there.
yeah,
And I thought to myself, well, when I originally got into this, it's because I love to lift.
mhm,
And there's no point doing a sport that endangers that.
yes, makes sense.
So I came out of 2020 and I got better late 2020, I think it was, I started to be able to move properly again. And I thought there's lots of weaknesses on my physique. There's lots of things I need to improve. So I spent about 4 years just catching everything up, giving my arms some volume.
Hmm.
I mean, they're still 15 inches, so they haven't grown that much, but actually improving the bits where there were holes. Because with the
Hmm.
powerlifting, you get your glutes, don't you? And you get your lower
Yeah,
back, you get your traps,
get your quads.
you get your quads.
Mm.
But I naturally have quite small arms anyway, so I really had small arms after doing that for a long time. Cut it up, and then I thought 2025, I'm going to see what happens. And I honestly expected to get smashed, to be honest. I'd made peace with the thought of getting smashed for the first year back
Yeah.
till I just find my feet. Because it takes a while to remember how to do it. I'd had 6 years as a gap between my competition seasons.
Mm.
But luckily, I didn't get smashed. I mean, I didn't win everything, but it went really well. I managed to do a lot better than I thought I would. And that made me fall in love with it again. And now here I am, 2026. I stayed on my diet. I'm going to see what happens this
Clearly,
year.
clearly. um, so you started off as a powerlifter as well. That you started powerlifting, did you?
I did. I've had a very long emotional relationship with bodybuilding. So in 2011, I competed in a show, and the guy who placed ahead of me, I would have won it. It would have been my first show win. It was show number 4 or 5. Not show, it was in my class.
Yeah.
And he got popped for using a drug that's used to get rid of water.
Right.
It's an anti-estrogenic compound. I remember I got really annoyed with everything. I don't want to swear, but I got really annoyed and I thought, I'm going to go into powerlifting. I'm going to go into powerlifting, do something completely different. And I had the wrong understanding of what bodybuilding is about at the time.
Right.
I didn't get that it's about seeing how far you can take your physique,
Hmm.
what looks you can achieve, getting great memories. I thought it was about just winning, winning, winning.
Yes.
And I had to go away from bodybuilding into powerlifting and then come back to learn how to enjoy it properly, to kind of to mature in how
Yeah.
I experienced it. I came back 2016. I won 3 classes there. I didn't do the finals that year. I'd won my class, the Mike Williams Classic, won the best poser. I think I was second or third in the overall. I placed ahead of one of the pro bodybuilders who competed there.
Wow. Okay.
And I don't know if you have this, I think we all do, like, I've always had really low self-esteem in that I looked at my physique and I thought, you're not good enough. And I pulled out and I regretted that a lot. I pulled out the BNBF, I'd qualified for finals there, qualified for UKDFBA finals, qualified for MPA finals, and I just didn't finish my season. And I tell you what, for me, I did it for the wrong reason. I
Hmm.
didn't do it because sometimes life takes over, sometimes you're burnt out, sometimes you can't do it anymore, sometimes you've just got commitments where you
Yeah.
can't lock in.
Yeah.
I did it because I wasn't what's the word? I wasn't brave enough. I wasn't brave enough for it. I was at a point where I'd pushed my body so far. I don't know. I think I'd burnt myself out a little bit mentally because I always prep myself. I don't have a coach. And one of the downsides of that is you do use a lot of mental and emotional energy making decisions all the way through the season.
So you've been self-coached throughout powerlifting and bodybuilding.
In powerlifting, I was really lucky. I was coached by a guy who was coached by Jeff Capes, like the
Oh.
guy with the budgies.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Jeff
a
Coates.
Lane Snook, he was like a big, strong man, six
Mm.
foot nine, 25 stone of solid man.
Mm.
I had a year of coaching under him, and that was just sensational. The most savage, brutal experiences I've ever had in my life. He used to get the whole gym together, and he'd
Mhm.
say, "Everybody, come and watch Dave. He's going to lift this," and you'd be bricking it because you knew you couldn't lift it, but he knew that if he put the pressure on you, you could lift it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's a world class company. Jeff Capes. I mean, come on. He's one of the strongest men ever.
Yeah, it
Um,
aged me, that did. But in bodybuilding, I've always been self-coached, so I've
right.
always just really been into the nutrition. I'm very lucky. I've got a lot of friends I've competed with over the years where I can send them my pictures and they'll tell me, you're in shape, you're not in shape.
Mhm.
But so I've jumped around a bit. 2016, I pulled out the finals and it haunted me because I could have done really well. And even if I hadn't, placed I wanted to place, I could have really enjoyed it. I could have had some great experiences.
Mhm.
But I didn't for the wrong reasons. So from then on, I've always just thought, right, the season begins. I'm locked in till the bitter end. I might be better, some shows might be worse. I
Mhm.
mean, how do you experience your seasons? Do you like to do like a big season and then have time away, or what's your preferred way of doing it?
Um, my circumstances have changed, and like you mentioned earlier, in terms of maturity, with maturity, your perspective on a number of things differs, doesn't it? So
Mm.
competing wise, I was doing it for the wrong reasons. I think my first show was 2015, and then I had a gap of 3 years. My partner at the time, or my wife at the time, wasn't really big on it.
I've been there. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's hard.
she wasn't really big on it. So I thought to myself, you know what, my competitive career is finished in 2018. I thought that was it.
Mm.
Um, our relationship has taken a different turn now. So I'm like, you know what, I didn't give the best account of myself a few years ago. Let me come back, and just to see how I would fare. So I didn't have a coach until last season. Um, I got third in the Midlands 2023 BNBF.
Good.
Didn't
It's
do
a
the
hard show,
finals.
that one.
Sorry.
Hard show, that one. BNBF is always a hard
Yeah,
show.
I've got good masters as well. There's very, very
Yeah,
good
heavy
masters there.
duty.
Um, so I got to the finals, but because of my plans of the rest of the year, I didn't do the finals. Um, so 2024, I said, okay, let me do the Southern. Being from London, it made sense to do the Southern. Um, Self-coached again, and I didn't place. Um, Now the head judge, he said, look, if you can do another show, maybe the Midlands or the Northern, I reckon you can come in tight enough to place,
Mm.
because it was only the conditioning that let me down. But again, I only planned on doing one show, and I thought, if I get to the final this year, I'll make plans to do the final. But I was edged out of it. Um, the guy that won it, Anthony Sidgwick, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A very
Phenomenal
sharp
bodybuilder,
individual.
and he's so nonchalant with it as well. You know,
Yeah, winds me
yeah,
up. Only
yeah,
joking, Anthony, I love it.
yeah. So the guy that won it, um, he had a coach, who I've got to know. He's got a great coach, and that's what made me say to myself, you know what, I don't have time to do another show this year, but next time I compete, I'm gonna try and get a coach to give me that extra push for my condition.
There's
Um,
a massive value to that, because
yeah,
it's so hard. It's so hard to see if you're sharp enough yourself. It's
yes, that's right.
really hard because you look at yourself in the gym and you think, "Ooh, this is serious. Look at me."
Yeah.
And then you tan it up and put it on a stage and it doesn't look the same. So
Mm,
it does really help to have that person to say, "Look, we need to be here by this week, here by that week, there by this week."
yeah. So I mean, this isn't about me, but the 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 consensus was, if my condition came in tight enough, I could do very well, because that was the only thing that was really missing from the judge's perspective. So I said, next time I compete, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to get my condition sorted. So when I spoke to the coach and we made a plan, I said, look, at the very least, I want to make sure I come in well conditioned, um, and then the rest is history.
I've got to say,
However,
you did that. Sorry, not to cut in, but
yeah,
you did do that. You were razor sharp. I remember watching you, like I look at the show reports, and I remember thinking, God, that guy's big. He's got a frame, and he's shredded. I was like, oh, okay, okay,
yeah,
this is going to be a tricky matchup when it happens.
yeah. I thought the same when I saw you, by the way, from a distance. I was like, you know what? If I got to go up against this guy, it's gonna be tough. It depends what the judges were looking for, but I knew last year if I got to go up against this guy, it's gonna be close. And I thought because of your presentation, I mean, posing isn't one of my strong points. And I looked at your presentation. I thought, yeah, if anything, his presentation um, would do it. If it comes down to anything, is his posing will be could be a deciding factor. Um, so it turned out that we didn't go up against each other last year, and I'm glad about that because it's one less person to worry about. Do
You know,
you know what I mean?
it's so funny though. Like I always think whoever your heroes are in bodybuilding defines your approach. So for me, I'm not a big guy on stage. I'm 68 kilos. Got
60.
quite a lot. I'm tiny.
You
I've
look bigger
got
than that
quite
though.
literally for somebody my height, I should probably be about 80 kilos, but hey ho. But my hero was always Frank Zane. What I love Frank is that he was always outmassed,
Yeah,
but his presentation was perfect. His condition was perfect. He just like had like polish. And I thought, well, you've got these
solid.
holes,
Yeah,
and that's what I loved. I thought I've got all these holes here and there, but I can make it up if I work really hard at being shredded, if I pose nicely, if I carry myself well, if I smile. I thought and just see what that does, and occasionally it works. That's the
yeah,
interesting thing. And it would have been awesome to be on stage together because you've got like your shots front, back, side are all so strong because you've got balanced development. And one thing I love about the Masters, you didn't quite get in the weight classes as much, I didn't find, is in the Masters, you get such a mix. You
such
can
a
be
mix.
stood on
Yeah,
stage next to
yeah,
a 90-kilo guy or a
yep,
55-kilo guy, and they can all beat you and you can all beat them.
yeah,
And it just reminds me of the Olympia. I know it
yeah,
sounds
yeah, yeah. No,
cheesy,
no, it's true. It's
but
true. It's true.
like
It's very
you
true.
can
It's
have
very
like Lee
true.
Labrada here and Lee Haney there.
Yeah,
And you know, you're talking like 30-pound weight differences here and there, 40-pound weight differences, and I just love it.
yeah, yeah. The masters. I love the open class. I mean, Frank Zane is obviously he predates Sean Ray, but the era that I
Sure,
grew up
right.
watching in the 90s, Sean Ray was always that guy who was smaller than Dorian.
202 pounds on stage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
was there to win. I've watched all the build up to the Olympia bids, and Sean Ray, he turned up ready for action, shredded. And he always said that more isn't better, better is better. And I completely agree with that. I met Sean Ray when I did the Swiss show, the MPC Switzerland.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
so best story ever. So in the build-up, I was talking to the photographer and I said, "Oh, here's Sean Ray's going to be emceeing here." And he said, "Yeah, yeah, Sean Ray's going to be here. Yeah, I know him." So this guy was the photographer for Flex magazine, I believe it was.
Right.
Anyway, he must have put a word in. So I'm waiting to go out on stage, and they've called two other guys on. And Sean goes, "Hey, hey, buddy." And I'm like, "Oh, hi, Sean." You came in. And he goes, "Come over here, let's get a picture." You'll find it on my Instagram wall somewhere.
Wow.
Get a picture. And I was like, "Mate, they're gonna shout at me. I have to go and stand on the stage." And he's like, "Nah, man, screw them. Come and get a picture." And the MC's going, "David Hodson to the stage, David Hodson to the stage." And I'm at stage side with Sean Ray. And he's like, "Man, you just ignore them. Let's get a shot." But yeah,
What
Sean
an
Ray was the
athlete.
man. He turned up and he arguably could have edged Dorian on a couple of Olympias, but he just did it his way. And I love that. The way I see bodybuilding is you got to do it your way.
Got to do it your way. Exactly. So, in terms of um, in terms of you, this will be your second year in a row
Yeah, I've never done
in
it
the comeback.
before. Not as tightly as I've done it this time. So I've got a theory, and I'm going to see if it works. So I've got my body fat about 9% or lower.
Mhm.
So I'm about 4 or 5 kilos heavier than when I was last on stage. And I've got a theory that if I can teach my body to tolerate carbohydrates, tolerate a high training load, keep my body fat controlled. That'll give me more space to be more comfortable being leaner, possibly more tissue retention as well, because I'm not having to subject my body to losing 10 kilos of fat. It's got to lose
Yes.
two or three.
Yep.
So the way I see it is when you diet, if I have to be in a deficit, I've got to lose 3,500 calories for every pound
Hmm.
of fat I'm going to chew through.
Hmm.
If I keep my body in that state for a long time coming down, that's going to erode my physique. I can't see how it won't in a natural hormone environment,
Hmm.
especially as I let myself get too fat before the last prep. I was just too heavy, got carried away with it. So I've got a theory that if I can, and I'll see if I'm wrong and I'll see if I'm right. That's the most fun thing about this whole thing is that
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
might be completely wrong. I'll find out when I get on stage. But if I've never done it where I've stayed as tight and on it as I have this time. So I've kept my food the same, just increased the quantities, trained 6 days a week. I'm just going to see if I can just slide in and I should be able to get sharper this time while being a bit bigger. But I'm
Because
going to find out.
you're pushing a decent amount of load at high volume as well. I saw you squatting 100 kilograms for 22 reps.
Oh man, that's a bad idea. I literally saw, I saw God, I saw Jehovah, I saw Muhammad, I saw all of them when I was on those last three reps. I tell you
Oh,
what I love though. I tell you what's fascinating. I couldn't do that when I was 25. I think I used to think, I don't know if you've ever thought this, and I was wrong. I used to think I have to get everything done I want to do before I'm 40. And I don't know why I had that in my head.
we all did.
Yeah, it's funny,
Yeah.
isn't it? I
Yeah.
thought
Yeah.
I thought you turn 40 and it's like, oh, game over now. And I remember I turned 40 and I was like, oh, I'm the same.
Yeah.
A few more aches, but I'm the same. And to be able to train really hard and diet hard and compete in my 40s, and you get rid of all the angst of youth, don't you? You know, like
That's
when
right.
you're younger, like when I was younger, I was like aggressive for it. Like I
Yeah.
had to do it, like
Yeah.
fine. I couldn't concentrate on my week if I didn't train, really hard 3, 4, 5 times. I mean, now I have to sometimes be like, all right, time to go to the gym. But your brain is clearer as you get older. And your
100%.
training for me, I don't know if you find this, my trainings, you learn to like really love it because it's not to get somewhere, it's just to do the session.
Just to do this for me, it's almost it's therapeutic
It is.
more than okay. Right, we compete for different reasons, right? So when we do a competition, we want to do the best we can. But even if I didn't have a competition coming up, like this year, I don't. It's therapy. It gives me time to you know process a lot of thoughts. If I'm tense or um, something is upsetting me, I use it as a stress ball in a controlled
Yeah.
manner,
Same,
and I'm
yeah.
and I'm right as rain after that.
Same,
You know,
same. Dorian
it's
Yates
therapy.
always said it's like meditation.
100%, 100%. Yeah.
Like you go in there, and I don't know about you, I always have a rule with myself. Because you know what it's like work can get heavy, life can get heavy.
Mm.
I always say just do one set, and if you want to call it a day and go home, that's fine. And I go in there and I do that set, and then I'm like, yes, at last, this feels good.
Mm.
And there's just something magic about it. Even like the dieting part, it's exciting to do something and you see the changes each week. So you see yourself just you get in there, and then I don't know about you, but I get to this point where, like, I'm very lucky. My other half, she takes my pictures and whatnot when I'm getting ready.
Mm.
Sometimes I get to a point she never lies to me. She tells me when I'm fat. Once upon a time, she told me I had love handles. So getting ready for work, put my trousers on, and she's like, "Dave, you got love handles?" And I said, "You what?" She said, "You got love handles?" I said, "Do you know who you're talking to? I haven't got love handles." Look in the mirror. You've got these watches hanging over. But you get to this point, sorry, in prep where your pictures look away and you're like, whoa, okay, we're in a position now and we've still got time. that's the most magical bit for me. Like I love all parts of it, but I do get very excited. You know, when you're coming into for a show
Yeah,
and you take that one shot. Like for me, my rear double biceps always shows what kind of shape I'm in. And you're like, okay, everything's tight here. Because you know that not many people, I mean, now the standard's incredibly high, but you know that if you can be razor sharp, you're in a spot, aren't
you're
you?
in a good spot. Exactly. Yeah, you're in a good spot. How many shows you got coming up this year, or are you gonna keep it a secret?
No, to be honest, I never really have a very big plan. I'm just like, right, I'm going to get into shape. When I'm in shape, I'll do my first show. And I'll probably be about 80% of what I'll be in my first show. Because I don't know about you, I find I improve with usually show two or three is my best. I
Yeah,
can go downhill after that.
yeah,
Last year I went downhill. I did I won my class at a non-tested show with the PCA. Came second to Innocente at the tested show. And have you ever competed with Innocente?
no.
Innocente Kalu, so WNBF
Yeah,
Pro.
I know who he is. I know who
Oh,
he is.
sorry.
Yeah,
The
I'm not.
guy,
Yeah.
like, the guy's so nice. Like, he's so nice. At my first PCA show, he said to me, he looked at me and he said, he said, I'm not winning this today. And I looked him up and down. I was like, I just broke out laughing. Like, he's so good. But I did, last year, I did the PCA tested as my first. PCA Coventry as my second or third, which was untested. And I qualified for the untested finals last year. And I peaked for the tested finals, so I couldn't have looked better that day. You know when you know.
Yeah, you used to know. Yeah, yeah.
But I went down the other side. So this year I probably wouldn't push it for as long. I'll probably choose three or four shows as opposed to might have been eight, maybe seven shows last year.
Mm.
And I'm looking to do a qualifier possibly in about 8 weeks, 9 weeks. See if I can get a qualifier done with the PCA. Then I'm going to experiment with letting my maybe do one other show, depends how the calendar falls, and then let my body weight come up, let my body recover, come out of the deck, come up to maintenance, and then come back down and do PCA finals again and see what happens.
Are you gonna do the PCA Masters, the new Masters competition?
Oh, I saw that. I
Yeah,
saw that. I'm really tempted. I'm really tempted. I mean, for me, the ideal class is Masters Classic, but it doesn't really exist as much on the tested side. So it's on the untested side.
yeah.
But it's not the tested because I got really excited. I went to the NPC Switzerland's, which again was an untested one, and I thought, oh, I'm in shape. Could be okay. Depends
Mhm.
if they like the condition. And in my class, I had the chap who was known as the Swiss Sea Bum.
Right, right.
There's some hilarious pictures on my profile of it. This guy was monstrous. So it's a class on the untested side, but less on the tested. Because obviously I'm quite light in my structure, but I've got a small waist and wider shoulders.
You got a nice taper.
Yeah, I'll probably have a crack at the Masters untested just to see. Because one thing I discovered in powerlifting is I've competed. The Olympia was untested when I went there to powerlift. I've done quite a lot of untested shows in Florida and different places in powerlifting.
Mhm.
And what I've learned is you just turn up because you never know what's going to happen in life.
You never know.
You never
You never
know.
know.
And I used to think about too much, but now I don't think. I choose willful ignorance and
Mm.
I just get in the best shape I can and turn up.
That's all you can control. That's all you can
Exactly.
control.
Exactly. And you know what? It could be a great experience or it could be the most epic day ever. Like when I did the PCA Coventry, I went to get my tan done. And there were three other lads in my class. They were all massive, like 9,500 kilos. And the girl, she shouted us. She was like, right, masters, competitors, bodybuilding. And I went over and she went, no, love, no, 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 love, no. No, this isn't physique. This is bodybuilding, big bodybuilding. I was like, this is big as I get. This is it. Sorry, it's all I've got. But I ended up winning that. And I remember they were calling the numbers out. I'll get a picture somewhere on my Instagram. But I looked down at my number when they announced second place. And I thought, well, there's only four of us, and they haven't said my number yet.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'm looking up at this guy like that. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So yeah, like the way I see it is like competing tested, untested. I like training naturally. I had a near-death experience when I was 15, 16, so I was in intensive care for about a week on life support. And I remember then I made the decision if I ever got out, I would never ever do anything that endangered my health again. And I've got lots of friends who've assisted. Friend, I know the assisted world. I
Same.
respect it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I love it. I watch it. I'm a fan of it. But
yeah.
it was never my decision.
I'm the same, mate. I'm the same.
And like it's you have to do it in a way that's true to how you feel and how you approach life. And the way I see it is that I've got advantages being natural. I know that a lot of people don't see it that way, but being natural, I do believe you can get a bit harder than like maybe 80% of people who are on assistance in the masters. I've seen that up
I've seen
close.
it. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've
So
seen
you
it.
can get sharp. You can get sharp and it's criteria at the end of the day. Condition, size, symmetry, proportions, presentation. If I can get presentation and proportions are okay and conditions on, well, stuff can happen, can't it?
There we
You can
go,
end
mate.
up
There we
placing in
go.
places.
There we go. There we go. There we go. And because you've got skin in the game and you've competed in both tested and untested, you get to notice a lot of things like, okay, I'm not going to get out mass, but here's what I can do. You know?
Yes, that's exactly it, that
Yeah.
mindset. You know, I might not be the biggest, but since when was it about being the biggest? Like Marcus Rule was the biggest,
There we
but
go.
it,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
it's about everything. And if the way I see it as well is I don't count myself as like genetically elite, but I can work with what I've got. I'm not struggling, but I'm also there's lots of people who are far better than me. But I can get sharp, I can present well. And the way I see it is like you always fight to win. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
You put your winning effort forward. But if it doesn't win, it doesn't win. But if you've given everything, you stand on stage and you stand different because you know you're right, don't you?
This is it, mate. This is
Yeah.
it. Um, what else was I going to say? So with the with the PCA naturals, how did you find that versus the yeah? What was the difference between the naturals and the untested? Do you see much of a difference in the standard of the two? Because I did the naturals.
Um, in the naturals, in Ascente is just extreme. Like the guy's got
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
You know,
Everything.
he's got everything. He is, if you could build a perfect bodybuilder, he's the one. Like me, I get on really well with Ascente. Like I chat to him every so often. I could be on my best day ever, like just beyond peaked.
Mm.
And in the nicest way possible, odds on I'm not beating him when he's having a bad week. So in Ascente, I think he's probably one of the best bodybuilders in the UK at the moment, if
He's
not the
proved
best.
it. Yeah, he's proved it.
Um, I thought the standard was really good. There was some really good guys in the class. It was a smaller class. I think there were like seven competitors on there.
Right.
I've been at quite a lot of finals, and I'd say across all the organisations, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. There's a lot in it. I think the PCA's production of a show is very, very slick.
Very slick. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
lighting's great. Five does the pictures.
Mm.
So you always look like you've got 20 pounds more muscle than you really have.
Mm.
Don't know how he does it. I don't know if he filters them or what he does. Whatever he does, I hope he never
Yeah.
stops because he's the best photographer I've ever met. Um, yeah, it's a high standard. There was a good two people ahead of me in that class. So there was Innocente and there was a guy called Steve Scales.
I've
So
heard of
he's a
him.
big bloke as well. He's a very big
Big dude.
bloke.
Yeah. Big dude.
And the guys below me, I mean, like I've trained with one of the lads I competed with, and like he could have beat me on any of the days. Fantastic physique. And I just think it's the shake up on the day, isn't it? But I really like the PCA finals, and I think I'm going to glue on to that and maybe the BNBF finals and just see where it takes me. I mean, the problem is they clash this time. Otherwise, I would have done both.
Yeah, that happened last year. I qualified for both finals. I was abroad at the time anyway with my son. Um, the 6 weeks holiday, so I was abroad with my son, so I couldn't have done it anyway. I'd have had to sacrifice holiday with my son
Oh,
to
man,
do the finals.
priorities,
And yeah,
priorities.
yeah, Um, but it would have been on the same day anyway. So it's like, you know,
I'm going to be honest, it winds me up. It winds me up. The way I see it is I'd love it if all the organisations would just sit down with each other and say, look, we all want to have as many competitors as possible at our finals. So let's break it up a little bit. I'd love it if they did that.
they're probably competing. I don't know this, but they're probably competing against each other as well.
Yeah.
There could be that reason as
Well,
well. So
it's definitely that, isn't it? They're trying to fight to be see who's top dog. I'm speaking selfishly as a competitor. I just want to have the chance to sample different ones.
mm,
I did the BNBF finals in 2019, and yeah, that's a heavy show. Being a lightweight in the BNBF finals, that was an experience in that year. I had Marcus Lee in it, Olagoke, Josh Olagoke.
yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah. You backstage, I remember I was chatting with one of my friends, Archie Gear, do backstage, and we both leant against the pole like that, and we are like, okay, let's see what happens here, okay. But yeah, I think at the minute, I mean, when you look at natural bodybuilding in the UK with the PCA, all the organisations, it's strong, isn't it?
And he's getting stronger.
Mm. Every year, like look at the standard as juniors coming up. Juniors didn't look like that when I started.
We've all said this as older athletes in our age group and above. We've all come to that consensus that the juniors now are a totally different level. I don't know if it's because I've got access to more information than we did or what, but there's something going on there. Do you know what I mean? It's
It's
unbelievable.
insane. It's insane. I think what it is I think they live like professional athletes from being 14, 15, 16.
Mm.
Whereas, I mean, how did you discover competing in natural bodybuilding? Because I discovered it in a really weird way.
I didn't even know it was a thing until I started training. I started training quite late actually. I was 22, so so before bodybuilding, I was playing football, um, and just going to the gym recreationally. But
Hmm.
I didn't know natural bodybuilding was even a thing until I started training. I just thought everyone that is massive, everyone takes gear,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
that's
if you're
you know
not
what I mean.
huge, don't
Yeah,
bother, yeah.
yeah. So I didn't know
Yeah,
until
I did a similar thing. I remember in 2019, I had no, sorry, 2019. I'm sorry. I remember when I was 19, I was training at a gym that was run by a big Nabba guy down Cannock.
right.
And he was watching me train and he said to me, he's like, you train really hard. He said, you should have a go at bodybuilding. And I remember I started laughing. And he went, no, 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 seriously, you should have a go. And it took me 6 years to build up the courage to get on stage because I thought I'm not big enough, I'm not big enough, I'm not big enough. And the point that made me make the decision to get on stage was I was watching the Active channel. This was back in the day.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And they had this clip of the BNBF Southern. And I remember they put the novice class up, and I remember thinking, on my best day, I could probably place about sixth or seventh in that class. So I'll give myself 5 years in the novices to see if I end up being good enough to, go to the Opens.
Yeah.
And I ended up qualifying for the finals in my first year. And again, like, I've had this thing, I don't know if you had this, my whole bodybuilding career up until like 2019, I always thought I might look a bit stupid. So I qualified for the finals and I went to it and ended up beating like, the heavyweight champ who had qualified at another one and somebody else. And then I thought, oh wow, okay, okay, the active channel, yeah, that's what got me into the active channel. And it's
That's
funny,
good
isn't it?
stuff.
It's you learn a lot about yourself when you bodybuild, like when you're dieting, because you can break a diet any time. That's the thing, is that at any moment you can just go, right, I'm going to smash that carrot cake.
Yep.
But you don't. And I love that because we all make this decision. And the ones who get on that stage are the ones that stuck it all the way through. And I always think that's its own win, is that?
This is the thing. I remember I was watching a story given by Dorian Yates. Um, so I think before his main rival was Sean Ray, it was Flex Wheeler, and he
Mm.
always said he thought Flex Wheeler was his biggest threat, but he knew that he would outdo Flex Wheeler because of Flex Wheeler's mindset. Because Flex Wheeler was so good, he rested on his laurels and he'd break his
Yeah.
diet. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he knew that he could break his diet and still look good. So Dorian
Yeah.
was like, it's like, you know what? I'm going to make sure I never break my diet because that extra edge, obviously he was bigger than him, but that extra percent is what he knew would outdo Flex Wheeler because he didn't break his diet. You know what I
Terminator
mean?
mindset locked in.
You got to block it out. Yeah, you got to
And
block
it's
it out.
everything, isn't it? Bodybuilding's everything. It's Terminator mindset. It's like, can you lock in and still live your life? Because none of us, none of us are making the mega bucks out of doing any of this. So most of us are spending far more than that bag of protein powder you get will ever
Especially
But
these days.
like we have families, we have life.
Mm.
What I love is we all like have so much love for it. We get our training done, we make our food, we do our sleeping, and we all get there on a stage and we battle it out and all that work for what, 10 minutes? But they're like the best 10 minutes.
It's who you become.
Yeah.
It's more for me. It's more about who you become. Because I've tasted defeat um, in bodybuilding. Um, okay, can you learn from it? Are you going to get butt hurt, or are you going to learn from it? And is it going to make you stronger willed and more determined?
Yeah.
So it's about who you become. Whether you win, okay, if you win, are you going to be an asshole? Are you going to think you're Jack the lad and better than everyone? Okay, you might be better than everyone in that competition if you beat a few people, but it's about who you become if you win or if you don't get what you want.
You're dead right.
That's how I look at it.
You know what? I couldn't agree more. I remember somebody telling me this was when I first started. He said, "Look, Dave, no matter what happens, there's only one outcome, and that's you've
Yeah,
got to work harder."
yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, if you win, guess what? You got to work harder because the next time you go in, you're the guy who won it. And if you come second place, you got to work harder. So whether you win the overall or you come third or fifth in your class, you got to work harder. And I
Exactly.
don't know about you, but I found I never knew how hard I could work until I got involved in this. You know how hard you can push yourself. You know when you're depleted and you're
I'm
tired
telling
and
you,
you're
yep,
burnt
yep,
out.
yep.
You're holding on for the day and like your stomach's empty, but you do it.
This is
And
what I was
you're
going to
like,
ask you actually. There's one question that I like to ask with the guys in our age bracket and above. What's the difference between have you found training in your 40s as opposed to your 20s? What are the main differences in
oh,
terms
that's
of
a great question.
that you found and how have you overcome them?
Okay, main difference is when I was younger, I had to train, as in I had like this aggression in me, like this fire. And I could only be calm enough in my life to like not like non-aggressive, but like my brain would only be clear and quiet when I was tired. So I had
Mm,
to get my sessions done.
mm.
There wasn't even a choice. Now I'm older, I don't know. It becomes more you do it because you've always done it. I don't know if that makes any
It
sense,
does,
but
it does,
like
it does, yeah. It
it's
does
like
make
the
sense.
thought of not doing it is so unsettling and uncomfortable
Yeah.
that
No, I
I
get
don't know
that.
what I'd do. I'll just sit on the sofa like. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'd say the biggest difference is the training's more it's who you are. It's part of your life. It's you love it, you find it rewarding. I find now I have to be very accurate with my food. I have to eat for fuel.
Hmm.
As in, my diet's so clean now. If I'd have eaten how I eat, if I'd have eaten in my 20s how I eat now, I would have achieved so much more. I neglected it.
Yep.
So you learn to kind of do things right as you get older. You learn to like do your warm-ups. You learn not to be silly in training. You learn to do the boring stuff. Like I never used to train my arms. And then what did the judges always say? Your arms are weak.
Yeah.
It's like, well, they will be because I didn't work on them. But it's because I didn't enjoy it. But now you learn to do everything.
Yeah. If you enjoy it or not.
Yeah. Whether you, like Mike Tyson said, like you're gonna do the things you hate like you love them.
Mm.
And he knew that young, and I didn't know that young. And maybe that's what separates the kids now. Maybe they know to do the things they hate like they love them. What do you find the biggest differences?
My time management has got to be a lot more um stringent because I've got more responsibilities than when I first started training. Obviously, um, I don't just have to think about myself. Um, and my recovery as well, the diet as well. I could eat a lot of nonsense, but still be lean when I was younger. Now, no, not so much. Um,
Definitely not now. I get
at
fat so
all.
quick.
And
No, me neither.
I think my exercise selections had to change. Um, like you had the is it a herniated disc you said you had from powerlifting?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
terrible.
So um, I've had a few issues being younger and more aggressive. That like the Ronnie Coleman approach. All that brute force. Yeah, that's the type of
We've
gym
all
I've
been
been to.
there
Exactly. So
to the
I've got
bitter
more
end.
diligent on my exercise selection, and my recovery has had to be factored in more than it used to. Um, I could train twice a day on minimal sleep and still have a good session. Now, forget it. So those are the main things for me, really.
Yeah, you learn to take care of the little bits, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Man, I'm gonna let you. I'm just talking about time management. We're both gonna get into trouble, but I just want to say something. First of all, one awesome podcast to put out there. Something that concentrates, on the masters athletes. Not totally, but more so.
Yeah.
Second of all, what a great champion. As in like you've won your classes, you've been there, you've done that, but like your attitude to it's beautiful. Like it's
And
cohesive.
yourself,
Like,
mate, and yourself.
we're,
Kudos to you,
we're all
and
like
yourself.
masters in it together, and I love it.
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
it. Reminds me
yeah.
of the Olympia. I've got
It,
so many different physiques, different people, and you doing this and asking me to come on here, just gonna say beautiful, man. And more power to you. I wish more people would have this. This is fun.
Thanks, mate, and thanks for coming on. But on that note, we've both got things to do. I'm sure you're still at work. Dave, it's been a pleasure. I'm sure we'll catch up soon. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll catch up soon. And thanks for coming on, mate.
It's been an honor, mate. Take
Yeah,
care. Stay
easy.
strong.
That's it, mate. Bye bye now. Bye.